Today is a somber day. I am in Hiroshima, Japan for the first time ever. And we're going to the Memorial Park and we're going into the museum. Now, I didn't know if I wanted to see this because it has kind of a sad tone to the museum and just the experience of visiting Japan. But I feel like it's something that, why not? We need to see it. It can kind of remind us of the devastation and all the stuff. For me, it reminds me of going to the Holocaust Memorial Museum in Washington, D.C. And when I did that museum, although it had so many people, you could hear a pin drop in there. It was so quiet. But yeah, I literally just got into town. It took like three-ish hours after I woke up and checked out of my hotel to basically get here in Hiroshima. And right now I'm just waiting for the cars to go so I can continue walking. Arigato. So, my first impressions, because I literally don't know anything about this. This place is a more developed city than I would have thought. For some reason, having been to the other cities, I felt like, okay, any other city in Japan out of these big three are probably very small, but there's actually a good amount of buildings and development here. I'm not talking there's skyscrapers or anything, but there's a good amount of development here and people moving about. Perhaps it's because I'm in the city center, but it's more people than I thought. Now, today I also did some research about Hiroshima, and what I found is, based off the questions I asked why did they drop the bomb here instead of in another city? Turns out Tokyo was already firebombed to death, and they wanted a city that hadn't had any fire bombings yet to kind of study the effect of it. And also, this was a major military hub and manufacturing hub for the military. So, once again, kind of a somber thing, especially after just a couple months ago, I finally watched that newish movie, it's kind of old now, Oppenheimer, by the famed director. And, you know, you have to see every movie by this director because he's always releasing hits, but this one definitely was a bit more somber, and the tone, the theme of the movie was kind of sad. So, or at least it got you really thinking about this, because we all did a bunch of research, I feel like, after we heard about this movie. And I just looked into a lot about how Oppenheimer felt about the contributing, as well as who felt they were responsible, and even looked into the effects of the let me pause first before I keep talking. Even looked into the debate about whether using it was even necessary, because it seemed like the war was already close to ending. Turns out the debate for that is still controversial and highly debated. Some say we needed to use it, otherwise they wouldn't have surrendered. Others say, oh, they were on the brink of surrendering. So all this stuff that I really didn't know if I want to be involved in talking about, because just talking about it sparks controversy in the comments. But I'm here and I'm going to experience this, and it's going to be fun. I think it's a good reminder. One can just go on this fun joyride of a trip through Japan, which is what most people do, and I was considering doing, and skip this site. But at the end of the day, I made a decision that I want to see it. It's actually pretty convenient along the pathway back from Osaka, next stop from Osaka before you return to Japan, versus other stops like Sapporo or Okinawa. And therefore, I just felt like that swayed my decision, and that's why I'm here. But I'm not here to rationalize to you and go on an essay about why I'm here. I want to show you the site. So I'm going to turn the camera off of me and I'm going to narrate, but as some of the commenters have said, put the camera off of you. We don't want to see you. We want to see the sights. Okay, so I will do that. So right now it has a slight drizzle. There is some rain, but it's not too bad, luckily. Now, I've been told by someone who's traveled and explored Japan for many months that you really only need like one day here. This is the bridge, by the way, that will cross you over into Memorial Park, where there's a lot of monuments and establishments dedicated to remembering what happened. And this is something I feel like should have been added to the movie, or some of the cast of the movie should have gone to visit here, because we only see the movie from the angle and perspective of the Americans living in the US. We never see this story told from the perspective of the people who received it. And so here we are in the Memorial Park. You see there's a bunch of people lined up there with umbrellas for something. And I think another thing is this whole debate about who's at fault, Japanese, whatnot, who's bad, who's good. Some even say, oh, there's no good and bad. That's just a human construct. Depends on who you talk to, but I think when you talk to Germans or Japanese about World War II, I think many of them and many else will say, oh, that's far behind us. You can't fault us for our ancestors who were like, this happened like decades and decades ago. So I think there's some truth to that. On the other hand, if you talk to some Chinese people, especially those who are older, you'll find that a lot of them, here's the, okay, so here's the map. We just entered through here. Here's the bridge. And then I believe the memorial mound is there. There's another bridge here, tourist information, Flame of Peace. So there's a few monuments here. This is the whole park. And then the museum seems to be down here. So I'm gonna go here and then take a right. Actually, I came in this way, so I should already be taking a right, apparently. And that should get me to the Flame of Peace since, oh wait, no, I'm here. So should I be taking a right or not? I don't know. I'll take a right here and see where it takes us. But yeah, if you talk to older Chinese people, they still retain a lot of memories, and then don't forget about the atrocities, the war crimes the Japanese committed when they invaded other countries. I don't know the specific details, but it was some of the worst in history, war with rape, pillaging, merciless killings, tortures, and stuff like that. So in that way, one could argue all the Japanese is at fault. In fact, a lot of the Chinese and other countries still hold a lot of grudges against the Japanese. In fact, I know some people personally who do that, of an older generation. But I'm not here to really go into the politics because I really don't know much about it. I was intending to just have a fun Japanese vacation, which I still can, but this is a bit more somber. I'm going to end the video here soon. But yeah, this is the small island many people go to, and it looks like they're gathered around here to pay homage. There's a fire going there, and then a little monument here just dedicated to, I'm assuming, the fallen and everything that happened. A bit sad, but here we are.